In the 1950s, there was a psychologist by the name of Erik Erikson. He developed a groundbreaking theory on human development, mapping out 8 stages that each human goes through from birth to old age. Erikson came up with this theory after years of observing how a social environment affects someone's growth. And I'm here today to ask, what if there was more to it? What if Erikson's 8 stages weren't just a roadmap to development, but instead a warning? A warning about how modern society can push us to failure, mistrust, and despair at every stage of life. In this video, I'm going to show you how Erikson wasn't just talking about the past or the present. He was talking about the future, and that future is now. Here are Erikson's 8 psychosocial stages outlined, and each stage, as you can see, is accompanied by a basic conflict, the main virtue, and a description of the stage. In this video, we're going to be focusing mainly on the basic conflict because that's what offers us insight into modern society. Starting off with the first stage, infancy, where the age range is birth to 18 months and the basic conflict is trust versus mistrust. Children develop trust when caregivers consistently meet their basic needs with love and care, fostering a sense of security in their world. If care is neglectful or inconsistent, the child develops mistrust, leading to feelings of insecurity and difficulty forming healthy relationships later in life. Studies shown on the NPR Shortwave podcast states that our modern world isn't even adapted to take care of infants alone, and most of history was based on tribes collectively taking care of all newborns. They actually studied a tribe in the Republic of the Congo that offered 15 to 20 caretakers per child and saw flourishing results. Now flash forward to modern Western society, where caregiving often falls on just one parent, typically the mother. The takeaway, when parents are active and involved, they're the heroes, but if they aren't, that child can develop the mistrust that will be carried into later stages of life. The second stage, toddlerhood, where the age range is 18 months to 3 years old, and the basic conflict is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Toddlers are tasked with exploring the world for themselves, but the perspective is very fragile. This is the first stage where overparenting can backfire. A 2021 Stanford University study found that children with helicopter parents are twice as likely to experience anxiety and low self-esteem in later years. This points to the danger of robbing toddlers of autonomy. Here it's crucial that toddlers begin to become their own individual. The most important element, kids being allowed to play. Playfulness, creativity, mistake-making, and risk-taking is what quells the self-doubt and self-esteem issues kids develop in this stage when they aren't allowed to flourish on their own. There are dozens of studies emphasizing the importance of play and increased brain function, elevated levels of oxytocin and dopamine, but take this one with rats, for example. A 2003 study of rats' brains found that rats raised in a playful, stimulating environment had higher levels of a protein that grows and maintains brain cells than rats raised in a solitary, boring environment. Some experts argue that play can even close achievement gaps in underdeveloped toddlers. Stage 3, preschool, where the age range is 3 to 6 years old and the basic conflict is initiative versus guilt. Consider schooling. With all waking hours accounted for, teachers are as influential on students as parents. This is why you're seeing such a shift towards homeschooling. An environment where creativity and making an effort is rewarded can lead to a sense of purposefulness and make strides in conscious development for young kids. But if systems are overly strict, children can become very discouraged very fast. I know he's a controversial guy, but observe this Kanye clip, for example.
A 2-year-old jumps on a coffee table and someone says, "That's a coffee table, don't jump on that." So it went from being something that makes him feel like Superman, he's got his cape on, to something where he has to think about this person's like a family member he doesn't like anyway. He's 2 years old, he doesn't think about a coffee or a table. And he's starting to like calculate all these things. And by the time you're 40 years old, you've got a wall full of coffee tables calculating you into traffic, calculating you into your career choice, calculating you into this townhouse that's not quite as big as the townhouse next, and it just never works.
In 2013, Society for Research in Child Development calculated development in preschoolers versus kindergartners, and those who attended preschool were a third more developed than those who didn't attend school. Another example, Finland's education system, which emphasizes play and creative learning, consistently ranks among the best in the world in terms of student well-being and academic achievement. Now the conversation is becoming, are all of these benefits worth the risk of external influences on your child? Stage 4, late childhood, where the age range is 6 to 12 years old. The basic conflict is industry versus inferiority, where industry is defined as the need to work hard. Students frequently find that when their hard work is supported, they continue on the path of hard work, whereas discouragement leads to more lack of self-belief and increased self-criticism. A great example of this is Harvard's Big Brothers and Big Sisters mentorship program. Children who are part of this program are 52% more likely to graduate high school and report higher levels of self-esteem. It's becoming increasingly evident that these stages emphasize an unfavorable versus a favorable lifestyle, which foreshadows what we will talk about on the final stage. Stage 5, adolescence, ages 12 to 18 years old, where the basic conflict is identity versus confusion. In this crucial stage, a teenager can find themselves developing relationships, beliefs, values, memories, and assorting into like-minded groups. The flip side of that is a sensation of loneliness, often carries into the next stage. Teenagers around the world have extremely mendable brains, and social media has become embedded into their development. Each teenager has the capacity to explore their own true interests and values, yet excessive social media usage leads to the cause of fleeting online validation and the desire to adopt popular identities and beliefs rather than coming to an independent conclusion and finding beliefs on their own. Many have called Gen Z the lost generation, and here's why. Gen Z has the highest rate of anxiety and depression among any generation, with 1 in 3 teens reporting frequent feelings of loneliness and confusion about their future. 41% of teens with high social media usage report their mental health as poor or very poor. 4.8 hours is the average number of hours reported on social media every day by the average teenager. And 60% of the highest frequency social media users report low parental monitoring and weak parental relationships. Stage 6, young adulthood, where the age range is 19 years old to 40 years old, and the basic conflict is intimacy versus isolation. This one is about as front and center as it can get. Find love or feel lost. You have to imagine that dating apps have made isolation more prevalent than before. Swipe-based dating apps seem more focused on quick matches than building meaningful connections. Research shows that 50% of dating app users never meet someone in person, and 63% say their experiences are frustrating or disheartening. This suggests that while apps increase options, they also create a sense of isolation and dissatisfaction. Another topic worth addressing is the decreasing marriage rates. Marriage rates are the lowest they've ever been in the Western world. In 2022, marriage rates in the US dropped to an all-time low of 6.1 per 1,000 people, down from 8.2 in 2000. I believe this conflict alone could be a video, but it's no coincidence that a committed companionship lies on the opposite side of feeling isolated. Getting into the second to last stage, middle adulthood, where the age range is 40 years old to 65 years old, and the basic conflict is generativity versus stagnation, where generativity is defined as the willingness to improve future generations. The main proponent of this stage is parenting. The modern conflict pertaining to it, a declining birth rate, and concepts such as DINKs, dual income, no kid couples. In 2023, the birth rate reached a record low, and many are choosing to focus on their careers and lifestyle instead of raising children. DINKs are 4 times more likely to say that they have no financial stress. Most of their expenses include traveling. These concepts and statistics show that modern society, in the second to last stage of psychosocial development, is trending towards stagnation. My brother once said to me, he finds it interesting that most people are willing to let a worldly thing such as money, paper, we've created that value, prevent them from creating life itself. And I think that's actually a really interesting perspective. And the final stage, maturity or late adulthood, where the age range is 65 to death. The basic conflict is integrity versus despair. I don't think there's a more beautiful contrast to sum up the concluding years of your life. This stage begs the question, when you reflect on your life, are you able to accept everything for what it was and say goodbye? A 2020 study from the University of California found that people who viewed their life as meaningful were 60% more likely to report a sense of peace during their final years, while those who expressed regret about missed opportunities were more likely to experience despair. I remember hearing about this for the first time when I was 17 years old in AP Psychology, and it's always stuck with me. It's actually the motivation for this video itself. How helpless I would feel if my last moments were filled with despair. I think the beauty of this portion is very subjective. What might make me happy and fulfilled and feel a sense of integrity in my final days probably won't be the same for you. or vice versa. But it emphasizes the importance of finding yourself on the better side of this stage in life and doing everything you can early on to make sure that you're fulfilling your opportunities. And through a psychosocial lens, it really is your choice. Check out this video by the modern philosopher, David Goggins.
My biggest fear in life is if there is a final resting place in this world, and there's a final judgment, and you talk to something much bigger than you. I don't want to sit down and have a conversation with someone with something that says, you're in heaven, this is what you should have been on earth. I want God to be up there right now as we're speaking, writing stuff down, saying, my God, he exceeded even my expectations.
Wow. Erikson outlined these 8 stages 70 years ago, but yet they seem so profound today. I'm sure everyone watching this video can think of a pivotal instance in their life in each stage that made them who they are today. As I've emphasized already in this video, the beauty of each stage is the side of the coin that you land on is up to you. Your choices and perspectives always have the opportunity to improve. It's never over for you, but you best believe if you continue to neglect opportunities in life, there will be repercussions. This has been another certified Enzo Elaborates Hood Classic. Like if you learned something, comment to get the conversation going, subscribe for more thought-provoking videos. Keep grinding, keep shining, keep learning, keep yearning. Till the next time, we out.